So now I'm back in the UK. I can finally tell you what I've been up to in Israel. And I managed to get into Lebanon with the IDF, and we went to a Hezbollah tunnel that reached 900 meters into Lebanese territory from a small town. I'll show you on the map in a second where that is. And less than a kilometer away from a UNIFIL base. What the IDF found was absolutely incredible. I'm going to show you the footage I took, and we can see exactly what the IDF are up against in Lebanon. So here you can see the town of Maroun al Ras. It's just over the Lebanese border from Israel, literally a stone's throw. So in terms of getting to the objective where we were going, it was no more than a sort of 10-15 minute drive uphill in the back of a Humvee. So here's a relief map. In the top left, you can see the town of Maroun al Ras. In the bottom right, you can see the Israeli town of Avivim. And the one thing I'd draw your attention is just how much that overlooks Israel. So it's very likely that this was some kind of an attack tunnel. We saw storage of arms, storage of uniforms, and the length of the tunnel and the size of the tunnel meant that they could fit a significant number of fighters in there. So to launch an attack onto somewhere like Avivim would have been extremely easy, straight downhill, able to fire onto Avivim as the fighters came out of the tunnel and charged towards the border. And here's a really interesting feature of the landscape. So again, you can see Maroun al Ras in the top left-hand corner and Avivim in the bottom right. You can see the UN blue line there. And inside the black circle is a UNIFIL base. So that's the road we had to drive up, going from south to north, turning left at that roundabout. You can see at the top of the screen to get into Maroun al Ras so we could see the tunnel, which means it was built literally within a few hundred meters of a UNIFIL base. Zoom in on Google Maps, it's all there. You can see the UNIFIL base sitting there fine and dandy, just a few hundred meters from a Hezbollah tunnel. We met the IDF in the village of Avivim, from where we drove a short 10-15 minute journey into Lebanon to the small village of Maroun al Ras. Here you can see the entrance to the tunnels. You can see the work the IDF have been doing, but those cables, they were all put there by Hezbollah. You can see just the extent of the infrastructure they had inside. That's an IDF radio. And the steps go down from a graveyard in the village all the way to between 10 and 50 meters underneath Lebanon. I've included this photo just so you can see the sprayed concrete nature of the walls. So they've dug into the rock using a digging device of some kind, solid chalk rock in Lebanon. And once the tunnel's been excavated, they cover the walls in this spray concrete you can see. Also there you can see the edge of one of the light fixtures, fully drilled into the wall, fully wired in, fully electric. Here we descend further into the tunnels beneath Lebanon. Once again you can see the wiring, how it's all plugged in there. In front of me is the excellent journalist Zach Anders. And it was a really small group. It was me, Zach, a group from Greece and two groups from Germany. So it was a really small team. And I believe this tunnel has now been destroyed, so we were the only journalists that were allowed in there. So I'm currently somewhere between 10 and 50 meters underneath Lebanon. We've just been into a 900 meter long Hezbollah tunnel that the IDF have found and cleared. The amount of ammunition they found has been insane. They've got bed down locations, and I'll attach the videos I took there to this in a second. And it's just remarkable. They've dug into solid chalk and then they've sprayed it with spray concrete. They've put wiring in. You can see the light system behind me. That's all put in by Hezbollah. The room we were in just now, the bed down room, the floor was tiled. It had fire suppression systems. There was ammo everywhere, RPG rounds, live rounds, and their date supplies, their food. It's quite astonishing. What an incredible engineering feat by Hezbollah. And this picture gives you an idea of the sprawl of the tunnels. There are multiple junctions, multiple entryways coming off the sides of the corridors, and it really was a huge endeavour right in the heart of Lebanon. And these tunnels just go on and on and on. As I said at the start, this is 900 metres deep into Lebanon. The length of this thing is unreal. It just goes forever. And as you're walking down there, you start to feel the real heat and the oppressiveness of the tunnels. There's aircon in there that was put in by Hezbollah, that was turned off by the IDF, so they were deeply stuffy and hot and unpleasant places to be. And there you can see some stairs that lead right up to the graveyard where the tunnel entrance is hidden. And as we come along, you get an idea for the electrics. Here's one of the fuse boxes. As you can see, it's all fully wired in. They were absolutely ready for long-term use of this tunnel. Before we went down to the tunnels, we were briefed by the brigade commander, and then down inside we were briefed by the Yahalom troops, who are the ones who cleared and discovered this tunnel. This room is quite remarkable. It's a bed-down location. You can see the floors are tiled, full electrics in there. You can see the fuse box, ammunition everywhere. I don't know if that was left there to add flavour for the journalists by the IDF. It's entirely possible. But this was clearly a location where Hezbollah were expecting to spend multiple amounts of time. The beds are all there. There's the ammunition that we left, and you see packs of dates as their rations. And here's an example of how good the electrics are. So fully plug socketed. You can't be without your iPhone charge if you're a member of Hezbollah. The electrics are not just hanging loose as they are in the tunnels in Gaza. You can see they're fully secured to the wall in a very professional way. And here on the roof we can see the fire suppression system that they put inside the tunnels. So as I was stood at the mouth of the entrance to the tunnel, that's behind me, and here you can see the graveyard where Hezbollah were quite happy to desecrate their own dead in order to make a tunnel so they could attack Israel. And here, just slightly downhill from the tunnel entrance, you can see into Israel. This is looking back down to the south, and you can see just how close the entrance of this tunnel was, and also the landscape around it, and how easy it would be to launch a downhill attack from this location into Israel itself.